How's it going, everybody? Henry here. We've got another video update on my podcast, how much money I've been making, the growth, how it's all been going, and I'm really excited to share it with you. If you're new to this channel, basically right now, everything I'm talking about is how to make money podcasting. And a lot of it is me just sharing the back end. I know when I first started, I would have loved to see these videos. So if you enjoy this and you want to follow along, please give it a like and subscribe. This is something that I've become really passionate about. So if you don't know, my podcast is the Positive Mindset Podcast right here. Let me go ahead and make myself a little smaller. This is the Positive Mindset Podcast. It's been around for a year and a half now. I've got 1.3 million downloads, and we're going to dive into my weekly earnings. I do a weekly video update on what I've made through the podcast. So there's several different ways that I make money. We're going to dive into that, but I know mainly you want to see how much I made, so let's dive into that. So I made, and I've got a little spreadsheet, and I'll show you the back end stuff for this past week. And so I do it every Friday. So every Friday I pay out whatever I made on whether it's affiliates, additional sponsors, or just through Anchor ads. So Anchor is like the main host that I use. And so every Friday is when I do my I consolidate and say, okay, this is how much I made this week. I just picked that day because Friday, you want to get paid on Friday. And so I made $809.48. What's interesting about this is I actually only had Anchor ads. So it was a really good Anchor ad week, and we're going to dive into it, why it was so much higher. Just to show you kind of last 4 weeks what that looked like. It was all around $400. So I want to talk about why it was higher and why that happens occasionally with the way Anchor does its ads. So really close to that 1,000 mark. I've got a long way to go. My goal for the month, or by the end of the year, is to have a monthly income of $10,000. We're going to talk about some things that I'm going to try to drive that number up, and kind of my thought process on how I've changed the podcast to hopefully be able to do that, to be able to make a full-time income. For one, $10,000 a month is a lot of money, and I feel like if I can achieve that through this podcast, that gives me the ability to do this full-time. It's what I enjoy doing. I love helping people, and so that's like what my podcast is dedicated to. But if I can also show how to do it, like follow along, I'm not an expert on it now, but if you can follow along and kind of copy what I'm doing, learn from my mistakes, then you can do it too. And that'll either set you up to where you could quit your job, which is amazing, opportunity for some people, but some people love the job like me, and you could continue to do your job but not be concerned about money. I mean, an extra $10,000 a month would pretty much set anybody up to where they're not necessarily going to be worried about money anymore, and they can just love what they do at work and as a hobby, I guess professional hobby, if you're making $10,000 a month. So let's dive in to see how or where this money came from. So if I go over to Anchor, this is the main profile, so you can see this is live. I'm actually recording this Sunday night. So, the payout was from Friday, but the numbers that you're seeing is from Sunday, March 6th. 1.3 million plays, estimated audience 5,000. That's per episode over the first 30 days. Before I made a change that we're going to talk about that I think is helping my total listens go up, this used to be higher. So this was almost at 7,000 at its peak. I used to do 3 episodes a week. And a couple weeks ago, I changed it to where I'm now doing 5 episodes a week, and we'll dive into the why behind that. Unique listeners, so this is 7 days. I think this is probably one of the most powerful numbers. That means individuals that listen over 7 days, or the past 7 days. So just under 6,000 unique people listened over the past 7 days, and this is a number I would like to see go up. I'm not so much concerned about this. I mean, I know advertisers looked at this one, but they are correlated. And if I can drive this number up, then this number will go up, because this means more people are tuning in versus this could be just people watching more episodes. So, that's kind of the way that works. Current balance, that's just where my money's at today, which, 107 is really good through the weekend. That means probably in the morning when I wake up and check it around like 5:30 or 6 a.m., this will already be probably 130, 140. That means I could potentially be at $200 by the end of Monday, which would be huge. This could set me up for a $500 week, which would be amazing. So hopefully it's a great week and it continues to grow. how many views did it take to get this? Well, so first I want to show you this. So if you go over to your money tab and you look at, if you click on your Stripe dashboard here, it's going to pull up, I had it up twice. It's going to pull up your payout. So that's where you know that 809 is on the way. This 809 was made out of two different things. So if I scroll down, hopefully you'll be able to see it if I can go more. So you see how there's all these like little deposits? That's how it mainly pays out. And let's see, I don't know, it might take a while to go all the way down. I'll just speed this part up. All right, so you can see here there was a $360 payout and then how the rest are really low. This part right here is actually from automated ads. So this is something that I get in addition to the HostRed ads, because you can see how this number is actually less than this number. So that's 16,000, 300. This is 17,900. Was that like $1,600 ish difference? So that means I've made 16 additional $100 so far since I've been added to this program than I did from this. So the two are combined. You don't get paid. You get paid this one out all the time. So all these little ones right here, that's from the original HostRed ad that I do. The second one is paid out monthly at the end of the month or near the end of the month. It seems like it's kind of sporadic, but near the end of the month. And it is these automated ads. The automated ads, for one, it's a lower rate. So it's $13 per thousand versus this one. Oh, they lowered it. It's actually 12.25. So this one used to be 17. So that's kind of a bummer. I think they actually changed the title, the name revenue per mile or milli. And it used to be something else, but this used to be 17. So that did go down. I just noticed that, which is kind of a bummer. Anyway, they have this. It's only on Spotify right now. So it's not on your other platforms. And that's just kind of stinks that it's not on other platforms. But so it's only paid on that. That's why the number's smaller. If it was played on both platforms, then it would be beneficial. $13 is really low. So 13 per thousand is not great. But it's what they give you. It's right there. I currently get most of my money through this. Now there are other sites where you can get it, like AdvertiseCast and Podcorn, and there's others I believe, but those are two that I use. AdvertiseCast is nice because they get it for you, and Podcorn you have to pitch for it, so you're constantly like pitching for new ads. I will probably be joining a network soon, and they will sell the ads for me. They will book out my whole show, and I won't have to worry about it, and it's going to be a higher RPM than this. So the reason I want to shift to that is I could, I guess, do that myself. And I did put together like a little bio sheet to sell the podcast. I know this is off topic, but the reason why you don't want to count on this income, hopefully this will get you inspired and you'll do this to build your podcast, but you want to set yourself up to not be reliant on that, because I'm assuming, and my guess is that eventually this is going to go away, which you can see a lot of the money's coming from. They would cut my ads, in half. If that happened, my ad revenue in half. So that's concerning, and I don't want to be stuck in a situation where this goes away and I'm not prepared. These are 30-second ads, so they're shorter. That's why it's also less. But that's a whole other topic. When that happens, when I do join that network, if I decide to do it, and if they decide to work with me, then that's what we'll do. But anyway, back on the topic. I almost forgot what we're talking about. But $809, that's why it was that way. It was split between those two. That's where it came from. This upcoming week, there won't be that additional payout. So that's why this being at $500 would be awesome, because that would be the highest weekly total I've ever had. So the podcast is growing. So I want to show you that. Which had a $500 week. I just realized that. If you take the number here, 360 minus the, 809, that's almost a $500 week. That's like 440, which is pretty high. That's the highest I've ever had. So 440, if we could get into that $500, that'd be great. And again, I get other sponsors beside this one. I just didn't have any this week. But let's dive over to the dashboard here. So this is what we have. I wish I could zoom in a little bit for you. But I had my best week. So you can see that we are trending upward. And you've seen these trends where I've gone flat, downward, up, down, up, and then way down. This was in January, or this was in January. This was October right here, all the way through the end of December. Then January popped right back up. I'm in the self-help mindset space, so that kind of makes sense. But hopefully we can trend this thing up. I mean, I would love to get, right now we're at, what did we peak out at last week? 35,000. That's the most plays I've ever had in a week. The week prior was the most, and that was 34. So I gained 1,000 week over week, which is awesome. I know a lot of you like to see the Spotify stuff. So this is my Spotify homepage. So let's refresh this to make it sure it's live. Okay, 15 in the UK, number 15, which is awesome. 19 in Australia, 24 in the US. If we swing over here to the catalog, this is my active podcast right here. These ones are no longer active. I put them into this one, so they're all in one thing now. So let's click on this one just so we can take a look at it. Audience, last 90 days, so we can see if there's been much growth here. So we had a good week. It's nice. This is a thick arch. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's how those peak and then they go down. I've had better. So that first week of January was the best. But I've really been going a lot in iTunes. I don't have that one pulled up. I'll show that in the next video or something like that. But iTunes has been growing more, and there's way more upside in iTunes. But just so you know, on here, I've had 1,300 starts, or 1.3 million starts. This streams is if they've listened to more than 60 seconds, is almost at 1 million. Listeners, so that's unique listeners. So that's pretty cool. 390 unique listeners on Spotify. And followers, these are people that follow the podcast just on Spotify. So that doesn't include any other sources. So, if that's what you want to know, that was a weekly update. If you want to know the strategy that I'm going for now, I probably could have thought this through a little bit more on how to present it. But so these are my episodes. So let's look at last week. So we got 1, 2, 3. So this is Friday. Let me move this. This is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. So when I was doing 3 episodes a week, this is what you need to realize is that would mean if I was fully sold out, and the way my podcast works, I could do an ad in the very beginning. And then I could do a mid-roll ad in the middle-ish area. So 2 ads is really the max I could do. With it being a shorter podcast, around 12 minutes or so, I really couldn't put more in there than that. I mean, you can. I just wouldn't have felt good about that. And I wouldn't want it to affect listenership for one, but I also wouldn't want it to affect the experience with that. So I could only do 6 ads. So let's just pretend that I make $100 per ad spot, which, again, is on the lower end, but that's like what I'm getting through Advercast. And so, we'll use that number. It's like 105, but let's say $100. So that would mean with those 6 spots, if they were completely booked out, then I could make $600 a week from that. Obviously, I'm not making that because I wasn't making $100 per ad spot, and I wasn't filling out. Well, really, I could make $100 per ad spot, but I wasn't selling all 6. I had the pre-roll, which is the before the ad. I had 3 of those sold, and then I would only usually have like 1 sold on my own through that week. So that was leaving 2 ad spots unsold. So if that's $100 each, that's $200 unsold. What I've done though is I've added now 2 more episodes. So the one on Thursdays that I added, it's the same length. So you can see it's around that 12 minute length. It could add 2 more spots. So then we go from 6 with the potential of 600 to 8 from that one. But then I also added an interview. This one can be up to an hour long. That means minimum I could add 3 spots in that. And I could do more, honestly, but I don't want to get ridiculous with it. I want people to enjoy it. But I could do 3 spots in that spot or that episode. So now we go from 2, or from 6 total. So 6 opportunities. They weren't even filled, but if I join this network, they will all be filled. 6, and then add 2 more, that's 8, and then add 3 more, that's 11. So that's 11 spots. So if I get just $100 per spot, I would then start making $1,100 per episode or per week just through ads. So that's why I want to join the network, because they would all be sold out. I mean, they need podcasts on there. If it works out, I'll definitely, point you in that direction if your podcast is growing. But that's where I could make $1,100 a week just from ads. But the real opportunity is not in ads. It's definitely doing your own product. So there's 2 things that I'm going to try this week, and I'll be able to tell you the results next week. So let me show you one of the affiliates I have. So this is an affiliate that I work with. There hasn't been that much earning, $104 or $134. Got unpaid at $21. You can see that I haven't ran much traffic there. These are just from like people listening to older episodes where I referenced it. But the way I would reference this in the past is I would just at the end of the episode give this person a shout out. It's a vendor that I really like. I love their products. I use them myself, and that's how it all started. I did her podcast. She came on mine, and we decided to set up an affiliate. And I really like what she's doing. She's a small business owner building this business, and so I wanted to send. I would have done it for free, honestly, just because I thought what they were doing as well. And that's kind of the effort, though, that I put around it, was that free effort. I didn't think of it as a business, and so because I have these ad spots that are unsold. Remember, I've only got the initial 5 sold up front. Those all run, and then I only have 1 sold on the back end. So I have 4 plus an additional one. I have 5 ad spots a week that I'm not selling. I'm going to create an ad for this. So I'm going to create an ad for this affiliate, and this is something I haven't done. So it's going to run like I'm going to spend time thinking about what I'm going to say, like I would, an actual ad that I read, and I'll place it in those parts and see if that generates more revenue, because it's a good product, even if I wasn't getting any kind of money for it. So something for you to think about. If there's someone that you want to support, and this is where you could use it to help build your podcast as well, and also, put you in a position, this is what I'm going to do, put me in a position to where I can sell ads even grander, is I'll be able to track this, because I'll know, okay, I put an ad in, 3 episodes. I can see how many visitors I send to their website. So even if they couldn't pay me, this would still be worth it to do, because I could see the traffic that I could drive. And so when I get with someone that could pay me, I could do the same thing. I could, say, hey, look, for an episode, I can send this many eyeballs to your business, and this is the conversion rate. So something to think about for your podcast. It's a great way to make money, especially if you can't get ads initially. And I'm pretty excited to see how it goes. I hope it does well for them. I want them to do really well, but too, I want to make money doing this. I set this goal to achieve this by the end of the year, and if I could do that, that would be amazing. So we'll see. I don't really have a goal for how much I'll make this week. I think it's more I just want to learn. And if I can learn, let's see if I can make this bigger. If I can learn, something really positive from this, it will be absolutely worth it. And I'll end it on this. And I try to, do something positive at the end of the podcast or end of the YouTube video. If you are wanting to start your podcast, start it now. Your first episode is going to be bad compared to, where you're going to be a year from now. And you can't be where you're going to be a year from now if you don't start. So go ahead and start your podcast. That's the first thing. But second, have fun with it, love what you're doing, and then have a goal for like why are you doing this? Like, why are you trying to turn it into a business if that's what you want to do? One of the things that I want to do is I love helping people. So this is a way where, I can put a message out where if somebody listens to it, it makes their day better. People sometimes shoot me messages on Instagram and how my podcast has helped them in some way, and that makes it worth it. Just do that. Even if there wasn't like an opportunity to turn it into a business, like that energy exchange that I get from that is worth it, because I just feel really good about it, and it makes a difference. So there's that. But the third, and this is something that I recently started doing, being really conscious of, is having a vision for the business. Like, what do I want this money for? Do I just want to make a bunch of money so that I can live a fun and lavish life? Or do I want to do this for like a cause? Do I want to start a business? Do I want to, have those things? And I work in fitness. I work for Gold's Gym. I love what I do, but I don't always want to be an employee. I would love to do my own franchise, whether it's a Gold's Gym or something. And this is a way that I can get there. If I can get to $10,000 a month and this is extra income that I don't necessarily need to live, that money will add up quickly and I could use that for an SBA loan to, do a business. And so setting that purpose, I think will keep me more motivated and tracking the money, doing the budgeting, being aggressive and trying to find advertisers and stuff. So set that goal for yourself, pursue it, have a long-term vision. I've been doing this, for under 2 years, so not very long. You're not going to be very good at something when you've done it, for a short period of time. And it's hard not to get discouraged. This YouTube channel is an excellent example of that. Like, I do the podcast and I get 5,000-6,000 downloads, per episode. People reach out to me. There's lots of engagement and like, it's exciting because, you do something, people are going to see it. This, YouTube video, 30 people might see it. So I know the long-term vision though, as I want to build this business, I love helping people. This would have been helpful for me to see this. So I have to make it because it's going to be helpful for someone else. So hope that motivates you. Hope you make your episode if you haven't. And if you started your podcast, hopefully this keeps you making it. And if you want to figure out how to make money, hopefully this gives you some ideas on how to make money. Well, thanks you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, again, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.